Asus Zenfone Max Pro M3 is going to be their next smartphone, and it is very much anticipated already as one of the best upcoming mid-range phones of all times. The Zenfone Max Pro M3 could very soon launch in India, and we are as excited as you if you are awaiting the phone to arrive for your next purchase. So let's talk about the expected features of Asus Zenfone Max Pro M3, the specifications, launch date in India, and also the expected pricing of the phone. Design and display of Zenfone Max Pro M3. The design might see a change this time, with Asus trying to get into the likes of Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 Pro and having a glass back, which will need a protection, but the company didn't shy away when they talked about the protection of the screen, so we might see a Gorilla Glass protection on the back glass, and the gradient color design on the back is expected as well. The Zenfone Max Pro M3 could be seen coming with a large display, larger than the predecessor since it is a time for great media consumption and gaming, and thus a large display is always needed. The resolution will be Full HD+, and the phone will surely have the Corning Gorilla Glass 6 protection as Asus had offered on the same on Max Pro M2 as well. We don't expect Asus Zenfone Max Pro M3 to have an AMOLED display, so it might be the same IPS LCD panel, but the upgrade will be there on the design and back panel of the phone, so be excited if you like glass bodies. Just like the previous phone, we don't see any change in the position and placement of the fingerprint scanner, which should stay on the back of the device because in this price range, in-display fingerprint sensor would not be possible for the brand to offer. Asus Zenfone Max Pro M3 processor. This is one of the major important aspects of a phone to perform well and give a good experience to the users while gaming. So, Asus might opt for either Snapdragon 675 or Snapdragon 710, both of which are well known for great performance and have the support for all the latest connectivity options that are needed. The variants are going to be many, since that is what Asus has been doing with its previous phones as well. There will be 4GB, 6GB RAM variants and storage variants of 64GB and 128GB. Asus Zenfone Max Pro M3 camera. Now, moving on to the cameras, which we said wasn't a strong point for Asus in the recent past. The Zenfone Max Pro M2 didn't have a strong camera combination, but now, the Zenfone Max Pro M3 is expected to rock the 48-megapixel rear camera and 13-megapixel wide-angle lens. With regards to the selfie camera, it will surely be either a 20-megapixel camera or a 32-megapixel one, because in the selfie-obsessed market, we are seeing some pretty good phones having a great selfie camera, and so Asus will be working on something to make a good selfie phone. Asus Zenfone Max Pro M3 battery connectivity. The known fact would be that the Zenfone Max Pro M3 will come with a large 5000 mAh battery, and that won't change anyway since Asus has been doing an exceptional job with the battery life of its phones since the M1. Since there is support for Quick Charge 4.0 from Qualcomm on the mentioned chipsets, we hope Asus bundles an 18 watts charger and also the support for fast charging in the phone, as the 5000 mAh battery would otherwise take a lot of time to fully charge from 0 to 100%. Zenfone Max Pro M3 price in India, availability. The Asus Zenfone Max Pro M3 launch date is expected to be end of June 2019, or early July 2019. As the company is launching the Zenfone 6 before this mid-range champion. The pricing of Zenfone Max Pro M3 would probably start from 12,999 rupees for the 4GB RAM variant, and the storage would be 64GB.